this idea that these billionaires somehow or another are the problem because they're not paying their fair share is so weird.
The reason why you're in this situation today is because of these greedy people aren't paying their share.
Where's it going to go, though? Is it going to go to this corrupt government that's the one who's feeding you this nonsense in the first place?
Do you feel like Israel is a fair ally? Are they a good ally for us?
You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Talking about world events and freaking out. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I got to help this dude.
I would never take my own life. I would never take my own life. You hear that, Israel? All of our fucking money goes to Israel, and they're using it to fucking genocide people.
You know, there was all these stories from people that were there saying he bombed. I think he just had a kind of a breakdown.
We're seeing all these videos of people like picking up pieces of their children. It's the sickest thing I think it's ever been televised. Just fucking stop it. What do you need?
They're trying to stop the terrorists.
Yeah, that's crazy, though, if you're the fucking terrorist. It makes a lot of Americans question why we fund Israel. Why do we give money? Our government does not, obviously, is not here to help the people. They've been compromised. There's a lot of conflict right now in Gaza. Palantir has been accused of being like complicit in a lot of the violence over there.
Palantir's involved in Gaza?
Palantir was involved in Gaza, yeah.
For sure?
Mm-hmm. Do we need this connection with Israel? What is it? No one ever explains what it's for. Because it starts to feel like America is just a shell company, an LLC for Israel. That's what it starts to feel like a lot of times. What do I know?
What do you know?
You're right, I don't.
In the past weeks, Theo has been defending himself from a rumor that got started by his so-called friend.
And he says, this is mostly cap. Sad to see this kind of stuff. I'm doing great. I'm a human being, which is rocky ride, but I'm doing fine, thanks.
It was weird how right after Joe said that about Theo, these Joe Rogan wannabes tried to echo the narrative so fast.
Joe actually cares about Theo and his well-being. And I know Joe knows people in Los Angeles that have had committed suicide. Brody Stevens, a hilarious, quirky comedian that we all knew, committed. And I get Theo's point, and he's like, hey, listen, I'm okay, I'm fine. That's what sometimes people say, Pat, that are going through it. And if he feels like that about the government and he sees something about Gaza, that's him. I don't think it has a direct correlation, but the stand-up one was right. He did allegedly not do well on his stand-up for his taping, which, Pat, you know that's a huge deal.
Since then, Joe has publicly apologized for bringing up the topic publicly and misunderstanding the video that made him think Theo might not be okay.
That's my failing. That's my failing as a friend. That's my failing as a person, especially in this clips environment where people are getting things from clips. You'd see that and you go, oh, you fucking asshole. Like, what are you doing? You're throwing your friend under the bus.
But for many, speculating on your friend taking his life after jokingly saying you're losing your mind is very suspicious, to say the least.
It freaks me out because I know Theo has had conversations before, even publicly. He had a Netflix taping and it didn't go well. And when he was talking to the crowd, and there's a video of it where he said, you know, the people were shaking, hey, we still love you. He goes, thank you. Look, I'm trying not to take my own life. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
It's been a long month. I'm trying not to take my own life.
I've known too many people that I didn't think were going to kill themselves and then did.
Especially when you consider the fact that the so-called breakdown video Joe is referring to is 8 months old. And Theo appeared on the podcast not long after and discussed what was actually stressing him at the time. It was around when there was strong backlash after Homeland Security used his clip in an ICE promotional video without his consent.
Yeah, dude, they made me the video thing. You see that thing where they put me on the video?
Oh, that was crazy. They didn't even ask you.
Bro, it was really scary for me.
Homeland Security? Was that what it was?
Yeah, just put it up online. And it was
it
after
Homeland
the Charlie
Security?
Kirk thing. Yeah, and so then I was like super scared, you remember? Yeah. Remember, I was texting like you. I was just texting people to make sure everybody's okay. I didn't know if they were like just going to kill people that had been on TikTok or whatever. Like, I had no idea what they were going to do.
I just can't believe they did that with you, where they just put it in there as if like you were endorsing that.
And it was just a scary time. That was the same time as after the Charlie Kirk thing.
The other thing that made Joe's concern look disingenuous and made it look like a very dangerous label is that Theo has been very vocal about questioning the U.S. government and Israel's relationship.
But I do have a lot of uncomfort about America's relationship with Israel, the Israeli political leaders. That's what I mean. It seems now like most people are like, our government does not, obviously, is not here to help the people.
Obviously.
They've been compromised.
That's true.
The crazy part is we're working to pay the taxes to keep them doing it. It's like people are sick of politicians overall. AIPAC and lobbyists like have infiltrated what it seems like politics overall. It's like, for sure. And people, you can't hide the information from people anymore.
He's getting red pilled faster than the Hodge twins. You're gonna see a lot more from Theo Von in the future. talking about this because he's going down the rabbit hole. And I can see a truth seeker. I know a truth seeker when I hear one.
But it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like...
And very quickly, Theo, I want to warn you. You're not going to see these Prize Pick logos here very long, or Celsius. You're not going to see a lot of these brand names if you go down this rabbit hole.
I believe that group is... It just feels like a satanic regime. It doesn't seem like, it feels like they just want to cause pain, and that America's associated now with their attacks.
Bill Clinton said Netanyahu wants war so he can stay in power.
For sure, dude. People call him the yarmulke Hitler. That's what they call him.
Who are these people?
Everybody does.
Which people?
Countless.
People?
Huh?
What are you saying?
What do you mean people? You talking about
What are you talking about,
black
Donald?
folks? What are you saying?
No. I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
Let's not draw conclusions.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
He seems like a great guy. What do we get from Israel, do you feel like?
And this is not Joe Rogan's favorite topic. You can see in this video's comments section that listeners noticed a similar pattern with Joe when these kinds of topics get brought up. He usually tries to mask his discomfort with jokes.
How much longer does Israel let us stay alive, do you think? That's the big question.
Why were they...
What did you say? Is that AI?
What are you saying?
That's Sora?
What the fuck are you saying?
I didn't say anything.
What are you saying?
Huh? Talking about Israel Adesanya.
Oh, well, he loves you. Don't worry about it.
Sometimes even cutting the conversation with an ad read.
It doesn't mean you're not still going to be a tyrant, because there are some people, like clearly Netanyahu's been to war. You know, he was in the military. He was involved in some shit.
Was he?
And he was like a special forces operator in Israel. And clearly he doesn't mind going to war. But this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Did you know?
Or providing an argument for Israel's offense against Iran and America's involvement.
I think most
war is
good
a unique
people,
term.
War is a terrifying
But I mean,
thing.
I wouldn't call what he does war, but I
You mean what they're doing right now in Gaza?
Yeah, and I'm not jumping on you.
Iran is war. That's war. Iran's a real enemy. You know, it's a different...
Are they an enemy to America?
Well, what they are is the largest country in terms of like state-sponsored terrorism. They're the largest sponsor of terrorism. So when you see like how it all played out and why it is what it is today, Jesus Christ, you'd be mad too.
Yeah.
And when you're mad and you're surrounded by bigger enemies that all have nuclear weapons, you don't even have nuclear weapons, wouldn't you be trying to make them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying Iran should have nuclear weapons. I don't think anybody should have nuclear weapons. They
But
definitely
Israel
should.
gets to have them.
Allegedly. This is the problem. Allegedly.
Everything's allegedly with them.
But allegedly they
Except
have
for the
them.
genocide.
It seems like Joe thinks that questioning things like he used to in the old days of his podcast career would probably cost him a lot, especially when the discussion paints Daddy Theo in a bad picture.
And he said that there were drones in the air all day. You know, there's that Palantir company just keeping tabs on everything that was happening. And
Palantir's involved in Gaza?
Palantir was involved in Gaza, yeah.
For sure? Put that into perplexity. Israeli government began using Palantir software in 2014. It significantly scaled up its partnership during the genocide in Gaza, which began in 20... This is for sure, a biased source, just by the way they phrase that. Okay, so you mean like facial recognition data?
Right.
Do they have that capability with drones? Where they could just zoom around? Is this horseshit? Is it real? Jamie's not even willing to talk on camera. He's just he's giving
I'll
me
be
winks
quiet
and nods.
Even though he denies the existence of AI mass surveillance technology with Theo, on other episodes he has the man who owns the company that tries to use the technology on American people. And he tries to show the positive side of using this technology.
So we were just talking about this wild crime spree that happened this weekend in Austin. Was it teenagers that were doing this?
15 and 17 years
15 and 17 years old. What was the purpose? Just going crazy?
I think so, yeah. They stole cars and stole guns and switched cars. And
So you were saying that the reason why they had a hard time catching them is because of they had flock cameras in Austin, but then they shut those cameras off for political reasons.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So-
There's a system called Flock, which is one of our companies. And what they do is kind of like in the movies. You take all the municipal cameras and traffic cameras and everything, and you feed them into an AI, and the AI is able to first find a license plate in real time. So you can find that. But second, you can actually find a car even if you don't have the license plate. So this thing is deployed. It's sold to city governments. It's used all over the country.
If you're not familiar with Flock, the TLDR of this is they're a company that makes AI-powered surveillance cameras that are being hung everywhere at your taxpayer expense. The whole idea behind them is that city employees can easily figure out where you're going or where you are based on when your license plate has passed by one of these cameras. It's not just a license plate reader, because even if you take the license plate off the car, it could still tell that that is your car via fingerprinting technology. This allows us to live in a future someday where you could just have somebody type in there, where do people who vote for Ron Paul show up at 7 and 9 o'clock on a Friday in this area? And then show me their movement patterns afterwards and actually get a response. It's highly creepy, and it's something that shouldn't be happening.
So a lot of towns and cities have this, and they love it. In cities like Austin, with the intense politics, they run into backlash on privacy and surveillance concerns. And so Austin had Flock and then turned it off. And as a consequence, they were not able to find these guys for, I don't know, whatever, several days. And then what happened, the late breaking news today is these guys drove into some adjacent town, up against Austin, and Flock was live in that town. And so Flock tagged them the minute they drove into that town, and then they caught the guys.
So Joe, less government in my life until a billionaire tells me otherwise, Rogan is here promoting this mass surveillance technology because it makes his billionaire friend money. But when it comes to taxing these same billionaires, he wants less power for the government.
To look to the wealthy people and say they're the problem, they're your problem. That's the thing that people will do to the proletariat, right? They will tell them the reason why you're in this situation today is because of these greedy people aren't paying their share. These wealthy, if they paid their share, where's it going to go though? Is it going to go to this corrupt government that's the one who's feeding you this nonsense in the first place? What are you going to do? You're going to enrich them. They're just going to get bigger and stronger and have even more power, and then you're even more fucked. You're even more fucked because you don't have any resources. It's not going to help you. If they tax rich people and then are the poor people going to get that money? No. Are their services going to improve? No. No, you're just going to get more government. And then there's that thing where no one should be a billionaire. Well, okay, hang on. Do you like having a fucking iPhone?
Yeah.
Somebody had to make that. They're working 16 hours a day. You don't want to be Tim Cook. You don't want to be Steve Jobs. Guy died young because of it.
But I guess the argument that some people make against that is not that guy shouldn't be wealthy. It's that when they have this overabundance of wealth, and that the people that also work there, like these Amazon warehouse guys, are fucking dying in the warehouse.
Are they?
Well, I mean, they talk about these work conditions that are sometimes deplorable.
But this idea that it's easy to become a billionaire and that these billionaires somehow or another are the problem because they're not paying their fair share is so weird that's a narrative that actually gets pushed through when you look at the actual numbers of the tax base and how much they contribute and how many jobs they provide. And they make more money than everybody else. Right. You could do that too. It's this is one of the things that America is really good at. Right. You can come from nothing and become incredibly wealthy if you figure something out and go. And we just assume that everybody who makes an incredible amount of money stole it.
At this point, it seems Joe has reached a level of entanglement that he has no shame in his bias, even though he's been called out by his comedian friends multiple times.
I've been to Peter's house twice. Didn't you get invited to have lunch or something, or dinner with Peter?
Yes, I said no.
Did you?
I said no. I'm a little wary of that circle of people, and I'm not saying there's anything inherently evil about them because obviously there's people in there. I don't know that I want to go to a dinner with someone who's going to talk endlessly about the Antichrist. Can we give Palantir the benefit of the doubt? Yes, one of their founders is obsessed with Satan, so we all have a thing. And yes, the other one just said we're going to be in a war with every country on earth. Whatever. But I want to give them the fair shake. It does seem like they are going to make money from enslaving the human race and keeping it in a constant state of war. Just an observation from the outside. I'm no genius. I get invited to a lot of dinners and a lot of things. And what I try to do is I try to say to myself, I need to be able to criticize people and make fun of them.
Right.
So, it felt like really weird to go to this guy's house and then shit on him the next day.
Do you think that's part of the strategy of inviting you to go to places?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most likely. But it doesn't work.
Now every time Palantir is brought up in bad news, Joe just pretends like he doesn't understand how their business works.
Palantir has publicly called for the U.S. to move away from an all-volunteer military and towards some form of universal national service that many observers interpret as reintroducing a draft or conscription.
Yeah, Tim got into this manifesto that I haven't looked into this yet.
Why the fuck would a tech company be saying that we need to move towards a universal national military service? How about let's figure out a way to use your technology so there's no more wars? Wouldn't that be a better goal?
Right.
Instead of getting kids
to fucking learn how to go shoot people they don't know.
Here's what Palantir is saying with this, by the way, with all of these things. They're saying we are the actual government. You don't realize it now, but we are the actual government. We are your government. These congressmen and senators, the people that go on Real Time with Bill Maher, they don't even understand what we're doing. They don't matter. We couldn't even explain it to them if we tried. Us and companies like us are going to be making the decisions about the future. Your lives will be determined by us. They're not going to be determined by Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're not going to be determined by Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. They're going to be determined by the systems that we build, and we are going to build them. And this is why they're coming out with a manifesto.
Even though Joe is playing dumb and pretending to be naive, Theo and billionaires trying to buy influence isn't an uncommon topic. Like the streamer Clavicular, who was accused of being funded by Peter Thiel.
Are you in any way affiliated with Peter Thiel?
No.
We'll make sure. People online were thinking that you're being funded, but you got your own mission.
Correct, yes.
Is it fake news that Peter Thiel backs you?
That is fake news, yeah.
I don't believe you.
Do you know who Peter Thiel is? Peter Thiel, yeah. He's a billionaire that owns Palantir.
I got invited to a Peter Thiel party. You think that's going to be a Diddy party? Probably. Whew. I think I claim that I worked for Peter Thiel or something.
You did.
They're going to start purchasing influencers. I'm telling you, this is the new way. It used to be the news media, but I've been doing interviews with the news media. They're retarded. It doesn't even work. Who the fuck's left in the news media? These people are broke. Anyone with a half a degree of talent is on YouTube. These people can't make $1, the news media. They live on floors. I've been interviewing with these people. I mean, these people are beyond. No one's even buying them anymore. They're going to start buying up podcasters and YouTubers and whatever.
While his friends like Theo Vaughn and Tim are cutting ties with these billionaires and politicians, Joe can't stop glazing them and covering for them.
Joe Rogan joined President Trump at the Oval Office over the weekend as he signed an order allowing psychedelic drug research.
What was that like, being in the Oval Office? Pretty strange. The whole thing was strange. How about sending him a text message, explaining everything to him, and him saying, "Let's do it."
Wow.
Dude, let's do it. And then the next
I think
day
that's his problem.
sees
He
me.
keeps saying, yeah, let's do it. He's getting text from BB. He goes, yeah, it.
Yeah. You're not going to get all good.
For any drug.
You know, you're not going to get all good with any president either. You know,
Right.
You're going to get a lot of bad shit because all these people are surrounded by
mostly bad.
demons. They're surrounded by war hawks and demons and defense contractors and scam artists in the pharmaceutical industry. There's all these fucking people that are trying to make sure that they can make the most amount of money possible. Just all coke snorting demons.
These days, Rogan doesn't seem to know what made his podcast this big. The early 2010s Rogan wouldn't call this podcast his experience.